lovely country.
See, I take you to all the best places tonight, you know?
I've left Freddie back in Blighty and grabbed Moneyman Hoos instead. We've come to Italy on the hunt for historic spy gear. I've been given the name of a bloke here with a special interest in wartime codes and communications.
His name's Marrow.
Mario?
No, Marrow. He's as in the marrow, right?
I've never met him or seen his collection, but I'm told it's impressive.
Right, this sat-nav's all up the Swanee.
All we got to do is find it.
Right, round to the right. Now, round to the left.
You sure we're going the right way? Seriously?
Go round here. We're lost.
Great Spy's weird, mate. We've packed a sat-nav that's struggling to find Italy.
That's there.
No, mate, it's a mud road, mate.
OK. We've been round here once and we're going round in circles. Excuse you. No, she's basically telling me jog on. In here.
Right, gotcha.
Here. This one here?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Here he is. Let's go. See what he's got to say.
Hello.
Marrow, good morning. Sorry it took so long. We got a bit lost. This is Hoos.
Nice to meet you.
You have a wonderful collection, I've been told.
No way.
Oh, what?
Blimmin' hell.
Wow!
Congratulations, sir. That's fantastic. Blimmin' hell, Hoos. Look at this lot.
Very nice.
It's like a James Bond movie set, this place.
Mario's stuff is so well organised, definitely more of a collector than a dealer. But you can't do one without the other, and it looks like he's got more than he can handle right now.
This is interesting, Mario. What is this?
This is a flag used during the First World War for communication, like Morse code.
Yeah.
And look at the spring.
Yes.
When you make this, it's coming wide. So you can make a short wide, you make a dot. You make a long wide, you make a line.
Morse code was invented in the 19th century in America for their newfangled electric telegraph system. It's a clear, concise way of sending a message, but the problem using it in war is that everybody knows it. To get around this, in World War I, each country had its own encrypted variations, known as trench codes. They would communicate it via telephone or blinking flags.
Is that for sale?
No, sorry.
It's very clever.
Marrow really loves his stuff, but I wish he loved it a little bit less, because I really need to buy something.
Hoos, come over and have a look at this. Now, I'm going to tell you, and you're going to listen and learn. This thing is history personified.
A typewriter.
No.
A typewriter? This is the holy grail of military antiques. This is the famous Enigma machine. This machine represented what the Germans believed to be a totally unbreakable coding system. And Marrow's got one sat in his warehouse. I'm speechless. We all know the story of Alan Turing and his team at Bletchley Park. They invented a huge automatic calculating machine to decipher the German code. It was in effect the world's first computer. But it's a lesser-known fact that years earlier, a brilliant Polish cryptographer named Marian Rejewski had already laid the groundwork how to crack the Enigma's code. Armed with Rejewski's work and Turing's groundbreaking computer, the supposedly uncrackable code was cracked. This machine, because our people broke the codes, helps win the war. There's no question about it. These machines were complex, so pay attention. Inside this Enigma, there's room for 3 rotors, chosen out of a set of 5, and changed daily. To decode a message, the receiver needs to put in the same rotor in the same order, tuned to the same position as the sender. Every time you press a key, at least one rotor changes position, in effect, changing the code. To quickly show you, if I press G, B lights up. If I press G again, X lit up. The combinations were billions.
So, is there a lot of these, or are they rare now?
They are ultra rare. Not many survived. There was one at Bletchley Park, the original one, and that was valued at £100,000. And I've got to ask you, Mara, would this be for sale?
No. I prefer to sell my wife than this.
You sell your wife, I'll give you Hoos.
There's only a tiny number of Enigmas in private hands, so I'm not surprised that Mauro is unwilling to part with his. It's nice to even touch one, but I need to find something else spy-related that I can buy for Eric's museum.
Is this a German light messenger?
Yes.
For sending messages without radio, yeah? What is it called?
Lichtspreckerachse.
Licht means light. Sprecht means speak. You speak into it and it turns your voice into light, which can be turned back into sound if you have the right receiver. It was invented not by the Germans, but by a Scotsman, Alexander Graham Bell, 4 years after he had patented the telephone. He called it a photophone, and the canny Germans adapted it to send secret orders.
Is there any way that it could have been intercepted?
Yes, if somebody your size stood in front of it.
Shut up!
You know? But it's a clever bit of kit. Mauro, is that for sale?
Yes.
What would be the price for this?
Be something like 2,000 euro.
Okay. Taking an offer, I mean, if I offered you 1,200, 1,200.
We can make half, 1,600.
1,500.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now this makes me happy. It's just the kind of James Bond-style covert communications gizmo that will bring Eric's museum collection alive.
This is a place to have a gaff, isn't it?
Definitely.
I'm in Venice on a picking trip, my very own Italian job. In the past, Italy's tended to be neglected by collectors of military relics, but that's beginning to change.
I wish I could start every little picking trip like this, I've got
Well,
to
it's
tell you.
good to be able to mix the business with pleasure.
Look how beautiful this place is, and this place is brimming with history.
I love Italy, though it's a sad fact that fascism was born here. The thoroughly unpleasant fascist dictator Benito Mussolini was in power 10 years before Hitler. And when the gruesome twosome got together as allies, it was here, in beautiful Venice, that they met.
During the Second World War, this place was so beautiful that both the Germans and the Allies pretty much agreed that it wasn't to be bombed or destroyed, and they both kept the bargain.
That was until the very end of the war, when the sneaky Germans started using the port to bring in supplies. So the British were forced to attack Venice harbour. And thanks to the skills of the RAF, Venice remained intact.
It's been a lovely few days. It's spectacular here. But the Mad Turk is going to be turning up very shortly. If I can pick up some nice pieces, it'll just seal this little trip off nicely.
Nice.
A nice couple of days, seeing the sights and buying leather goods to keep my good lady happy. But now it's down to business.
Right, let's go and find Oos.
My plan is to buy Italian stock while it's affordable and hang on till the prices go up. But I won't be buying anything if the man with the money doesn't show.
He said he'd be here half hour ago.
Probably having an ice cream somewhere.
He's probably having a few ice cream stuff down there.
Yeah.
Right, take it up.
Oos! Where you been? Been eating ice cream, haven't you?
Bruce, I've been looking for you for hours, mate.
Well, listen, the square, you can't really get lost here, can you?
Said the square, look at the size of the square.
Now Hoos is here, sightseeing's over and the real fun starts.
A dealer friend of mine, Gianluca, has set up some meets for us over the next few days to look at some really good Italian items. Italian stuff, for some reason, seems to be going off the scales at the moment. Right, Sue's all sorted out, got a flight booked, I've got a cab booked for her and everything. I'm giving up my Sue to spend a few nights with you.
You called me.
See you later, mate.
See you guys later. Have
Ta-da,
fun.
mate. Come on then.
Let's go to business, mate.
My Italian friend, Gianluca, has set up a meet with two merchants of Venice, father and son military dealers, Alessandro and Jonathan Targetti. They have a little family business trading in Italian Second World War bits and bobs. But with canals instead of streets, finding the meeting place is a bit tricky.
Where are we meeting them?
Well, here, this Fondamentità Nani. Apparently there's a little square here.
Well, it's got to be down here, isn't it? This is the road, isn't it? Or the river.
We'll go down here, we'll wait down here. Well, listen, this has got to be the little square. We might as well just wait here for 'em. What were they called? Tagliatelle?
Tagetti.
Now, I'm used to rummaging through car boots in car parks, but in Venice, they do things different. When in Rome, as they say.
Hey, oh, that's him.
Or is he just waving at you?
No. Signor Tagetti, yeah?
Spaghetti.
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 Well, they've got some swag. I'm Bruce, pleased to meet you.
Ciao, Bruce. Nice to meet you.
This
How
is
are you?
Hoos.
I'm
Hello.
Hoos.
I'm Bruce.
How are you?
Ciao. Jonathan,
Pleased to
fine.
meet you. Pleased to meet you.
Thank you for coming. You've bought some pieces for us, yeah?
I bring leather Italian helmets.
Oh, right. There's a tanker's helmet, yeah?
Yeah.
Very, very nice. So this is World War II, yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. What it was, it's to protect your head while you're inside the vehicle, because you hit something metal and it hurts.
Most Italian tanks were made by Fiat, and most in World War II were out of date. In 1940, Mussolini ordered his tank battalions to invade Egypt, but the British gave them a right going over. Across Egypt and Libya, 400 Italian tanks and 130,000 troops were captured. So Italian tanks, not up to snuff. But the hats are nice.
I've not seen one of these. It's interesting. What sort of price would that be?
I think I can do 200 euro for that.
200 euros?
Yes.
Right, 200 euros for that. Not even going to argue. Thank you very much. It's a very nice start, you know. You got to get that in your case, or you can wear it on the plane.
180 quid is a bargain price, and when you're offered a bargain, there's no need to haggle.
So these other pieces, they look very interesting. Hitler, Mussolini.
Made in America as a
Right.
propaganda.
So they're ashtrays, are they?
Yeah, for cigarettes, yeah.
It wasn't hard for the Allies to turn Mussolini and Hitler into figures of fun. But the Allies needed their soldiers to hate the great dictators. So they were encouraged to stub their fags out on their ugly faces.
What sort of price would they be?
I think they're expensive. I can do 300 for both.
300.
Yeah.
That is expensive. Yeah, I mean, they are a novelty item. I can't really justify 300 on it. I mean, 250 is a good price.
Too little profit for me. We can do 270.
All right. I mean, what do you think?
For a bit pricey, but if you can get a deal, because I've never seen nothing like that in my life.
They're different, Hoos. I think they're very interesting. OK, 270.
Thank you.
Sir, lovely. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
250 quid for a couple of ashtrays might sound a bit steep, but these things are unique, or at least very rare, and rare is good.
Now, what else we got?
This is really very nice. Letters for U.S. Army soldier
Yeah.
to ship to parents in the United States to say Merry Christmas from Italy. As you can see, you have Italy.
Yeah.
Design.
Very, very nice. Now, this would have been mass-produced. Obviously, it was paid for by Free Army Post, so you would write a small message on here, and it's a Christmas card.
Yeah.
On the bottom of these standard issue Christmas greetings, it says V-mail, which for me is V interesting. Soldiers would write their messages on V-mail paper, which was then copied to thumb-sized microfilm to be enlarged again at the destination. That way, 150,000 V-mail letters could be transported in a single mail sack.
Very nice. I like this type of thing. What sort of price would this be?
Then, what is the best price we can do? 100 for whole together.
The whole lot?
Are we going to be able to sell it on?
Yes, I like those, and I ain't even going to argue. Thank you very much,
Thank
sir. Very interesting. It's personal, and it's from Italy. I'm very, very happy with that. Very happy.
At roughly 3 quid each, I should be able to double my money on them. And if they don't shift, I won't have to buy any Christmas cards this year.
Listen, thank you very much for the items. Very, very happy with these bits and pieces, and it's been really nice to meet you. Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Oosh, let's get wrapped up and get away, mate. Come on. Time's money.
Having landed some lovely Italian World War II gear in Venice, I'm now hitting the road. I'm off to see my good mate Gianluca, who lives just outside Venice.
Where are you, Oos?
But I've made a schoolboy error and left the transport to the Mad Turk. What's that?
I've had no choice.
What are we going to look like turning up in a camper van? Terry and June go picking? Where's the van?
This is your van.
I can't believe this. Right, let's just go, because we're running late. And let's just say, I'm not a happy camper.
What you got this for, Bruce, mate? I wanted a van, but I could not hire a van. The next thing best for a van was a camper van. The geezer's talking to me Italian. He said, van? I went, yeah. Next thing, I got this.
The only thing is now, as you're driving me to locations, you'll be able to nip back and make me a cup of tea.
Not many people think about Italy during the war, but some of the stories of what happened here are incredible. Mussolini, like a lot of fascist bullies, liked to dress up and swagger about. But it was all talk and no trousers. He was defeated in Africa, then Greece, then Sicily. And then, when Italy started running low on food, the Italians had had enough. So in 1943, Mussolini was arrested and Italy changed sides, declaring war on Germany. So Nazi paratroopers had to rescue Mussolini from his prison in the Apennine Mountains. And he spent the rest of the war in the north of Italy, protected by German troops, where he still pretended to be in charge.
Try and pull up anywhere, really.
All right.
OK, all right, let's go and have a look.
Right, let's go. It's got to be up there, isn't it?
Well, he said it's industrial premises, but it's not his house, so...
Right, this does look like it, Bruce, doesn't it?
Gianluca and I go way back. I've bought loads of stuff off of him over the years, but I've never been to his warehouse. Gianluca! Oh, yeah. Hello!
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Whoa!
This
Look
is
at
the
the
base.
stuff in here.
I told you.
This is great, man.
This is incredible. Gianluca wasn't boasting about what he's got. These warehouses are packed to the rafters with Italian stuff dating back to 2 world wars. Hello, Gianluca.
Hello, mate.
Hello, mate. Don't do shopping.
Ciao, Bruce.
And you, hello. This is who?
How are we doing?
Nice to meet you.
Gianluca, you must have thousands of items here. Can you show me what's for sale and what's not for sale?
It's all for sale.
All for sale, OK. Music to my ears. This you sent me photographs of. Very nice, yeah?
It's an Italian tractor.
Which year is this?
It's 43. Well, it's a very good artillery tractor.
SPA, did they become Fiat?
Yes, in the after war.
SPA and Fiat were based in Turin, and between them they built almost every Italian vehicle used in the war. This tractor was designed to pull heavy artillery and carry a 5-man gun crew and ammunition. It was used by the Italians and Germans in Africa, and the big wheels helped it get through all that desert sand. And everything's complete inside,
Complete inside with the original seat.
Seats, yeah. That's really nice. It's in beautiful condition, Gianluca. How many Italian vehicles do you see running around in the UK?
You don't.
You don't, do you?
No.
Gianluca, what is the possible price for this?
Is 55,000 euros.
55,000 euros. So this is for sale, yeah?
If you like.
Yeah, I like.
Can
Don't worry.
sale.
I like it.
Bruce, for the budget, I think it's well above what we're here to do.
Absolutely, I totally agree. That's why I'm going to get you to take some photographs, right? If we can get that moved on before I purchase it, happy days. All right?
Fine. OK, mate. I'll get on with that now.
I know a dozen collectors back in Blighty who'd bite my hand off for that tractor. I don't even have to do any work on it, so I can make a tidy profit with minimum effort.
OK, well, let's leave that a minute and move on to some other bit, because there's lots of stuff I want here.
All right.
Gianluca, you've got plenty of things in here. Who's? It's one of your old girlfriends.
Bruce, what the hell are these?
They're Pith Helmets, by the look of it. So
What? Pith helmets?
are these Italian?
Yes, for the war.
As with the Allies, right, the British, the Italians were also in Africa.
Like Hitler, Mussolini desperately wanted an empire. So he invaded Ethiopia, or Abyssinia as it was also known. Now, Italian fascists, like their German counterparts, love to dress up. So they went round in fancy colonial uniforms and pith helmets. But Ethiopian Emperor Haile Selassie was no pushover. Ethiopian freedom fighters and the British Army kicked them out in 1941, which I imagine is why these pith helmets look so new. Try it on, come on. It fits you, actually. You actually look quite presentable with that.
And comfortable.
Well, it is. It's designed to be comfortable. I think probably these are cork as well, cork. Do you have many of these? Do you have many of these? Look at those. These got hundreds of them. Gianluca, what are the price of these?
The price of this is 100 each.
OK, so if I took 10, how does 600 euros sound?
No, 600 is too low.
OK.
I can give you a 750.
Listen, job lot, I think it's worth it.
OK, I'm not going to argue.
OK.
Thank you, 750. So, yeah, nice.
Yeah,
that's exactly what we've come here for. Right, well, we'll take those. That's great. Italian stock is only going up in value. I'll sit on them and they should more than double in price. Who's Gianluca?
What's up, Bruce?
Come have a look at this.
What are you found now?
Gianluca, is that military?
Yes, it's the Italian military sledge.
It is, yeah?
Yes, it is.
Could we have a look at it? Possible to get it down?
Yes.
Yeah? In northern Italy, the Alps form a natural border, so Italian armies were equipped for mountain winter warfare, including army snow sledges. These sledges would have also been used on the Eastern Front when Mussolini sent troops to help the Germans. That's fine, Gianluca. So this would have been used by troops on the Russian front and in the Alpine, yeah?
And the Alpine France.
OK. For one horse or two?
One horse only.
One horse. And what do you think? You could deliver presents with this at Christmas, couldn't you?
Mate, it's interesting, 'cause I've never seen nothing like this before.
I've seen these in numerous publications with the Alpine Corps. So the Alpinis, they were a very good unit, yeah?
Yes, very strong fighter.
Yeah. Known for their Alpine felt hats adorned with a black raven feather, the Alpini are the Italian Army's elite mountain warfare troops. But Mussolini landed them in it when he sent them to help the Germans out in Russia. These fighters, used to mountain peaks, were suddenly exposed on Russia's flat plains facing Russian tanks. Around 50,000 Alpini troops were sent out, but just a handful returned. Anything associated with the Alpine Corps is a good spinner for us, trust me. So would this be expensive, Gianluca?
Is 800.
800. Would you take 500 for it, Gianluca?
No, 500, no.
No?
600, 600.
600 you'll take. 600, grazie. signor.
OK, prego.
Very rarely do items like this turn up in the UK, so I reckon I can make a profit with bells on. OK, that's another thing done and dusted. Let's move on, see what else he's got here as well. There's all kinds of toys down here, Bruce. Have a rummage around, see what you can see here.
What the hell is this? Is it a gun?
It's a water gun.
Huh?
Water pistol.
Water gun.
Really?
Yes. It's for the Austrian private guard after the war.
After the war, security guards weren't allowed to have real guns. So they basically give them a water pistol, but it squirted ink. So when you got ink all over you, you could be spotted.
I've never seen nothing like that in my life.
Sure.
If that was pointed at you, right?
Yeah.
Right, in the dark or whatever, you'd think that was a real thing. Then if you got a lot splodging of ink in your mints, right, you'd be, you know...
I know we said only Italian, but this has really interested me.
Gianluca, what is the price of this?
Is 400.
How much?
400.
It's a water pistol.
Yeah, sure. If you don't want buy, it's OK for me. Don't worry.
What do you think?
300?
350.
Yeah, 350.
I'm happy with that, because I like that. I'll tell you, that is interesting.
No, very nice. I like that, Gianluca. It's, that's definitely a bit of you, innit?
Thank you for that. That's impressive. I'm going to keep that with me.
It doesn't look like Oos is going to let me sell that on, so he can pay me back by acting as my security guard. Gianluca, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for your time. The material's fantastic.
Lovely to see you.
Thanks, Gianluca.
Bye-bye.
Cheerio.
Bye-bye.
It's day 3 of our Italian road trip, and Gianluca has set me up with a collector near Bologna who might be willing to sell to us.
What a lovely view, mate.
We're heading to Bondino on the River Po. This is where, in April 1945, the Allies joined forces with thousands of Italian soldiers and resistance fighters and launched their final assault against the Nazis. When they crossed the river, Mussolini knew the game was up. He hopped into his Alfa Romeo and made a dash for Switzerland. He got close to the border, but was caught by Italian partisans near the village of Dongo and promptly shot. The retreating German army surrendered within a week.
When the Germans retreated up here, they had to go over the Po River, and they had to get over it quickly, so they left tons and tons of equipment in this area. So there's really rich pickings. Bonadino, here we are. So this guy, right, he's a friend of Gianluca's.
Have you ever met this geezer?
No, never met, but that's a part of the fun. We've got to meet new people, experience life, you know what I mean?
Nice little road there.
Pull up there. That's it.
One of these along here. Marco? Could be an error. Oh, Marco.
Fine.
Marco, my name is Bruce.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, Marco.
This is Hus.
How are you, mate? Yes.
Gianluca telephoned to say okay to
Yes,
see
he
you.
telephoned me.
Your collection is here.
It's there if you want.
Can we have a look?
Please.
Thank you, Signor. I'm told Marco has some quite unusual items, and he's very kindly laid them out like a picnic. He's organised, isn't he? Look.
Yeah, it's all
Mine-
packed up.
Really nice bits and pieces.
Yeah, it's got some nice stuff, hasn't it?
These. Yeah, look.
The spectacles. No.
You look good in them.
Unbelievable.
It's these everyday items that remind us that war was about more than guns and bullets. This is very nice. Very, very nice. So look, he's got everything in there. Soap, polish, boot polish. So each soldier would have his own wash bag. Do you have an office here?
Yes, I
office?
have.
Could I see?
Yes.
A Nazi officer's vanity case might seem a bit odd, but the Nazis, like the Italian fascists, did spend a lot of time in front of the mirror. Ah,
Yeah.
yeah, look.
That's in good condition.
Now,
Look,
yeah,
at
look at that.
That's
Look,
mint.
look at that. It's wonderful, look at that. Everything is in here. Look, the razors, razor blades, toothbrush down there, OK? And look how neatly it all fits in together, look.
Unbelievable.
I've seen these before. Watch this.
No,
Yeah,
shaving.
shaving brush.
Unbelievable.
I know it's not Italian, but again, the Italians up in this part of the world fighting with the Germans would have had similar things like this. It's very, very nice, very nice. The strutting peacock Mussolini always kept his head shaved to hide the fact he was going bald. But he was paranoid about assassination attempts, so he'd frequently change barbers, and one even had to shave him at gunpoint. Not ideal for keeping a steady hand. I like things like that. Marco, price? Quanto costa?
About 300.
300? Yes. 300. Well, I've got to tell you, mate, we're going to set the ball rolling here, and I ain't even going to haggle with that.
Worth it, isn't it?
Yeah, 300. 300. Yes. Marco, thank you. That's very nice, thank you.
300?
Yeah, lovely.
Okay.
250 quid for a wartime wash bag is a good price. And if I can find the right buyer, I should be able to clean up. That's wonderful.
Well, let's have a look around and see what else he's got. We've got a nice bike over here, mate. This one here.
It is a nice bike, mate. Again, really nice. And believe me, getting really, really hard to find. Remember, OK, a lot of people think that all the German army was motorised. It wasn't. Horse-drawn and bicycles. Italy's eccentric Bersaglieri regiment was one of the first to use folding bikes. Apart from bikes, they're also known for wearing flamboyant hats and always jogging on parade. So apart from looking ridiculous, they were probably knackered the whole time as well. You see these attachments on the bike? This clamp here is for the K98 rifle. That would slope down there. That's the butt goes in there. Now, these items here are very, very hard to find now. At the end of the war, when there was no fuel or anything, every civilian who wanted to be mobile would get a bike. Well, the first thing they did was to demilitarise them. These were the parts that were stripped out and thrown away, which makes these two pieces worth as much as the bike, right? You see he's got a Zeltbahn, a poncho on the front. You could have a gas mask on there. You could put a complete set of 3 ammunition boxes on here. So many different things they could carry. Is possible for sale? Quanto costa? Or?
The price is 2,000.
2,000?
Yes.
That's steep, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit too much, mate. A bit too much. It ain't bad, but it's a bit too much. Could I say 1,000?
No, it's impossible. Sorry, it's impossible. No.
No?
It's impossible. Too low.
No?
Ah, too low.
1,200.
150.
1,500. 1,500.
Yeah.
That's a good price, mate.
You happy with that?
Yeah, love.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very
Lovely.
much.
I'm tough for that. Really nice. If I can accessorise this bike with some extra Italian wartime kit, I should be able to peddle this to somebody who dearly wants an authentic World War II military vehicle, but can't afford a tank. So he's got loads of stuff here. Machine gun cans here.
Is it all right? Take a look in here.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, just give me a hand here. What's that? That's a Zeltbahn. Pull that out. Oh, have a look. Take that out. That's Italian camo. Open that up, Bruce.
What do you mean camo? Bruce?
Right. Listen, this is obviously a tent or something.
Right.
But, right, see this? This is Italian camouflage. This is really cool, mate. It was the French army that started modern camouflage in World War I, when they realised their red hats and blue coats stood out like a sore thumb. After a crushing defeat by the Germans, they created a dedicated camouflage unit. Not to be outdone in the camo fashion stakes, the Italians introduced the first mass-produced camouflage pattern in 1929. It was so effective that German units operating in Italy adopted it for their own use. This particular form of camouflage they liked for some reason, and you see many of the tank crews and people from the 12th SS and the 1st SS with uniforms made out, jacket and trousers made out of this material. This is really nice.
So you're well interested in this thing?
The fakers that fake SS camo and that sort of stuff would give an arm and a leg for this, right? Because it's real cloth. These fakers will take a piece of original cloth and fake trousers and jackets. Now, SS camo, some trousers can go for £10,000.
How much?
Now, I'm not saying the Italian camo ones do, but they would take this material, cut it, make absolute perfect copies and sell them as originals for a fortune.
Let's not big it up too much, yeah?
Listen,
Because we're going to
mate,
make the bid for it,
no,
mate.
I know, we'll find out. Scusa, quanto costa this?
500.
500?
Yes.
It's a tent, man.
Sorry, but it's 500.
It's nice, but...
It's very nice.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Not nice, wonderful.
250?
No, sorry. No.
Best price?
450.
450. 400. 400.
Okay, 400.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah?
That's all.
You happy with that?
Right, that's really nice. 350 quid is a good price for this camo tent, and it will never end up in the hands of a faker. If I pitch it to the right collector, I could nearly double me money. Right, who's put that on there? Marco, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you,
It's been a
friend.
pleasure. You have a
Welcome.
wonderful collection. He's riding home to England. Thank you, Marco.
Ciao. Bye-bye.
See you later. Oh, yeah. I'm riding it home, bruv. Hello, Bruce. So what's the emergency about? Get down here quick, get down here quick.
My mate Kevin has just gone and got himself an S-boat. It's a German Second World War torpedo boat. It's the only one left in the world. After World War I, the German Navy weren't allowed to build warships above a certain size. So the crafty Kriegsmarine came up with this Schnellboot instead. Small, super fast and armed to the teeth. The S-boats terrorised Allied shipping throughout the Second World War. He's going to spend millions on this, but he's struggling to find parts and pieces for it. And we've got loads of bits here that I know would suit his restoration perfectly.
The Germans built hundreds of S-boats, but they were all either destroyed or stripped and scrapped by the Allies. All that is except one, and that's the one Kevin's doing up. Of course, S-boat parts are desperately hard to come by, but that's where Brucey comes in.
Now, I'm just flicking through this Schnellboat bolt. We've got all these brass portos.
What, here now?
I've got them here, but the most important thing, the piece de resistance. See that pedestal mount there with the gun on?
Right.
That's a 20mm anti-aircraft gun, and we've got one, the whole thing, and it will be perfect for his restoration.
The Flak 38 was a German anti-aircraft gun. There were different versions made for the Luftwaffe, the Army and the Navy. Mine is the exact same kind that would have gone on a Schnellboat. I picked it up cheap for about 11 grand, but I reckon it could be worth up to 25 to Kevin.
Phil, Nick, you know them Nazi portholes we had?
Oh, yeah.
Where are they, do you know?
I think they're in here.
There was a lamp there as well.
Yeah.
See if you can find them for me.
OK, yeah, no worries.
I don't want to cart the Flak down on spec, so I've got a little job for Oos.
You have got to do your David Bailey bit and take some nice photographs for me.
All right, I'll take the pictures, no problem.
This is the pedestal-mounted 2cm flak.
So it's an anti-aircraft gun. So what do they use it for?
The Flak 38 could fire a whopping 480 rounds per minute, and the S-boats needed them. Despite their ability to outrun other ships, they were still vulnerable to attack from the air. So they sailed in a pack, because multiple anti-aircraft fire streaming up from ships' decks was enough to put any sensible pilot off.
It was a devastating piece of kit. So I'm sure because of the condition, he's going to go for it. But you've got to take some nice photos, right? No selfies, OK?
See you later. That's a good one. Yeah, proper.
Hoos and I are schlepping 340 miles to Plymouth to seal the deal.
Just pull up round there and we'll go and have a look.
I love doing business with Kevin. Good man to sell to, and a good man to buy from if I can shake the right price out of him.
Oh, 6 poxy hours.
I know, but listen. Remember, this is a bait to sell the guns. The guns are the piece de resistance, and he's going to love them, all right?
Right, where are we going?
Follow me, because it's in here, and he told me just to come straight in. Here, have a look at that.
What the hell is that?
It's a thing of beauty, mate.
What?
But it ain't Noah's Ark, I've got to tell you.
What is that?
This is the last remaining S-boat in the world.
This ain't what I was expecting. I was expecting, like, the QE2 or the Q9,
No. Mate, look, I'm telling you.
It's a rag and bone, mate. Look at it.
This is the Elgin marbles of the sea.
Scrap. I won't give him £2 for it.
Well, be careful here, because you put on a bit of weight, and I don't want an accident.
Unbelievable.
Look at that.
Unbelievable.
It's in fantastic condition. And to be add the bits and pieces we brought down to it is just, for me, the icing on the cake. Are you excited about this?
No.
No?
No.
It's a historical piece. It's awesome.
In 2009, Kevin discovered this rotting hulk in a German boatyard and couldn't bear to see it going to rack and ruin. He reckons he'll have to fork out £5 million to restore this 70-year-old S-boat. Needless to say, this is music to my ears.
Bruce, where are you, mate?
Kevin, I'm just up here trying to nick bits off your boat. Hang on, mate, I'm coming down. Listen, mate, I'm staggered by the whole thing. I really appreciate it.
Kev, how you doing, mate?
All right, mate,
You all right?
Yeah. So you got the full history of it?
Yeah, literally from the makers pretty well right the way through till today. Its most notable skirmish was Slapton Sands, when the Americans were practising for the D-Day invasions.
Right.
This was leading a flotilla of other S-boats off the coast of England when it accidentally stumbled across this invasion force practising and came in and launched the attack, which we now know cost somewhere between 700 and 1,200 lives.
Kevin's talking about Operation Tiger, the big dress rehearsal for D-Day.
This was the S-boat that crashed the party. A dark day for the Americans, but it makes this Schnell boat of huge historic interest.
Well, these are bits that I found on board. We found 3 of these sealed in tar.
What are they, beer bottles?
Yeah, and on pulling them out, made a hissing noise. At the time, everybody thought it was some sort of self-destruct device. But the shipbuilders put 3 bottles of Beck's beer and they laid them in the hull as a good luck charm.
Right.
And the hissing noise, of course, was the lid coming off.
Oh, so they were full when you
Yeah,
found
and all of a sudden there was a waft of fairly drinkable beer, and one of our guys actually, when it was open, drank it, and it was quite drinkable.
Listen, mate, I love this sort of thing, but I'd never ask you to part with those type of things.
It's part of the soul of the boat, so they've got to stay with it, Bruce. And that's why I brought these other 2 bottles, which I would part with.
Are they wartime?
They are wartime. That's French WWI.
Where's the contents?
And that's long gone, but this
Yeah.
one's still full.
Right.
Wartime produced Bordeaux.
OK. It says Wehrmacht just here, which means that it was actually produced for the German army.
For the Germans, one of the joys of occupying France was guzzling the local vino. But it is said that French wine producers used to palm off the worst stuff to the Wehrmacht. Not that Adolf Hitler would have noticed. Among other unpleasant character traits, he was rumoured to be a teetotaler.
I'd like them.
Yeah.
It's got to be worth, what, 50 quid to 2?
I think they've got to be 250, 300 quid. We've got to stop.
Well, one's empty.
Yeah, well, it's made up for the one that's full.
150 quid, come on.
No, it's got a bit nearer.
175, and we'll put them one side.
200 quid, and I'll go and put them in the car for you.
175, come on, 175. Yeah? Come on, 175.
Go on,
175. Right, that's them done.
I can flog these on for about 250 quid, but like any fine wine, if I sit on them a little, the price will grow like grapes in the sun.
Have you got all the bits you need for this now?
We're getting there. It's all the small stuff that takes a lot of finding, you know.
Well, I know a man that might be able to help you, and he's standing right here. I've bought some very interesting bits down for you.
You're having a laugh, mate. Look how heavy the thing
Doesn't
is.
matter. Right, hold it. Just step. Hold it. I'll give you a hand. Just a minute.
Bruce, don't.
Listen, stay there. Wait, get in there. Get in there. Come on.
Listen, don't hang around, because this is heavy.
Come on. Stop whinging.
I'm going to kill you when I get in, I'm telling you.
You make a bit of room.
What have we got here?
Right. Have a look at this, because it's right up your street. That, I'm sure, is the same light that went on this boat, and it's a beautiful condition one, look at it.
It's all complete.
It's stamped, Kriegsmarine there, the date, everything. Now, I take it that's the manufacturer's.
Manufacturer in Hamburg,
Okay.
yeah. That would be like a masthead lamp.
Right.
And then you would have red and green for port and starboard.
OK. But it's nice,
But
though.
it's the right thing. It's 100% correct.
Let's just come back to that, because, you know, I do like to pull something else out of the bag. It's one of 2 portholes, wartime dated, 1943.
S-boats were built for war, not for holidaying, so there weren't loads of portholes, but the 2 I've got are perfect.
So something you'd be interested in there as
If there's
well.
a pair of them, yes.
There's a pair, and we have the other one in the car.
I've also got a ship's telephone handset that is bang on for this boat, plus a Kriegsmarine German Navy sailor's cap, which is exactly what the boys on board would have been wearing.
Yes, that's right up my street.
My plan is to soften Kevin up by selling him this stuff at a bargain price, to sweeten the deal on the flat gun.
The portholes, I've got to ask £2 each for. Obviously, £300 for that. This, I would let go for £150 as well.
Well, I'm one step ahead.
OK.
I like the big bits. I'll give you 5.5 grand for the lot.
Make it 6 done based on what I've given you. I'll chuck it all in. It's an extra £500, but it seals the deal and everything's in. Make it that, and I've got to do it.
Dinner's on you.
Right.
Now to move in for the kill.
I couldn't bring these up, Kevin, but...
Oh, wow.
Right, please have a look at those. And this, Kevin, as you can see, is a 20mm deck-mounted anti-aircraft gun, right? Which would go on this boat.
That's the right deck mount, yeah.
Including the deck mount. Now, it is in absolutely brand new condition. It is right for this boat, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, it's a naval mount.
Now, you know, I'd love to see this on there, but it's all about the price because it ain't cheap, Kevin. But I've got to stick to the figure that I want, and I'm asking £25,000 sterling.
I could see me paying 20 for it.
You know, 20. It's so rare. You know, at £25,000, I think it's a good price.
Could it be made to operate? Could it fire again?
A deactivated German anti-aircraft gun can be made to blank fire, but it takes expertise, a special kit and money to do it. I'll tell you, Kevin's no mug.
You would like that firing?
If you can get that firing, I think we could have a deal.
I could get that working for you and invite you up to test fire it if you stick to the price I'm asking for £25,000.
That sounds good to me.
Done?
This has been a good morning. If I can get the gun firing, I'll be quids in. Better still, Kevin's S-boat is just a shell, which means he needs lots of authentic parts for it, if I can find them.
Bruce, what the hell are we doing this time of the morning?
Listen, stop bleating already. We're here at this military fair because there's a guy here that's brought down a proper blank firing kit for me. Now, if it's the right one, I can have a deal and we can get it sorted out.
The Chatham Military Fair is a monthly market in Kent, and my top tip is to get there early, before the world and his friend arrives.
Morning, gentlemen. How are we doing? All right?
Lovely.
We're here for one thing and one thing only. Then it's a bacon sandwich and back to bed.
Them, see them? They're Bergen.
Sidetracked at the first stall.
Basically, it's a backpack, right, with a frame on it. And they were still in use with the British Army up until recently. Very nice. These World War II, mate, yeah?
Oh, yeah, 42, 44 dated.
44. Now, these would be used by commandos and, you know, man's special forces, but they carry a massive load, and it would fit on you around the back. Well, maybe not you. Somebody a lot thinner. I'll need two to put around you. Look. You know, it's like
thermals, mate.
It's like a girdle on you. You can hang them in vehicles and use them on mannequins, but, you know, they'll clean up quite nicely. How much these, mate?
30 quid a piece.
30. Oh, don't sound cheap. What about 20 quid each? Get a couple.
I'll do 2 for 50 quid.
2 for 50 quid, yeah? And I'll get me pick, yeah? 50 quid. OK, lovely. Well done, mate. Many thanks.
Those bags were too much of a bargain to pass up, because they'll have the reenactors reaching for their checkbooks. But now back to the real reason we came.
James.
Hello,
we
Bruce.
doing, mate? All right?
How are you? You all
Yeah,
right?
yeah, fine.
See ya.
Have you got that blank foreign attachment?
Yes, yeah, I've got that just up this side.
Oh, is this it here?
Yeah, this is it, Bruce. This is what I was talking about.
Right, OK,
Got a
go on.
little button down that end.
Oh, right, lovely. Yeah, that's it. Lovely. Clearly marked here. It's a blank firing barrel for a 2 centimetre flak 38.
Yeah, that's it, yep. Complete.
If you're wondering why the Germans wanted blank firing anti-aircraft guns, the reason is training. You don't want to train soldiers using expensive and dangerous live rounds. To make a gun like the flak fire blanks, you need a special barrel and these things called restrictor plugs. And this box has both.
This is nice, but the important thing is, mate, is how much?
Right.
You know?
On that as it is, in the box, all complete, I need 3 grand.
3 grand, mate. That's out the ball game.
They're a hard thing to find.
But, I mean, I'll see it about, I don't know, 1,800 quid maybe.
No, it's not even a deposit.
On the one hand, he knows I want a flak 38 blank firing kit, and there ain't many of them about. But on the other hand, I must be the only bloke in Britain that wants one.
All right, I'll go 2-1.
No, 2.5, and that is absolute
Two and a half grand.
It's got to be 2.5.
2.5
I can't do no more.
10% of it.
Look at what we're going to make out of it.
Yeah, right. It is new, the box. Done.
2,500 is not cheap, but it's worth a lot more to me if it seals the deal on the flat gun. Sue puts up with a lot, with me always away buying and selling historic military kit. So for a treat, I thought I'd take her for a day out to a huge military fair. Mate, this is awesome already. 5 days ain't enough.
It's getting bigger each year, though, boys. Bigger each year.
I'm bound to be able to pick up some really nice bargains. This is what I call quality time. The sun is shining, and as far as the eye can see, it's a seething mass of tanks and uniforms and thousands of other things. They get 150,000 people through this show. It's just incredible. Fairs like this are just getting bigger, and there's more and more on offer, including the most delightful period music. And to cap it all, there's a World War II themed dance tonight with an American Glenn Miller style big band, led by a relative of the great man himself. War and Glenn Miller changed music in Britain. Unlike in America, where there were hundreds of private radio stations, British radio was a state monopoly. The BBC played boring, old-fashioned music, which the men in charge thought would keep us calm. But when the exciting Yanks came over, they brought their exciting music. And none was more exciting than Glenn Miller. When it came to music, the Americans liberated the British. But short of listening to a live band, if you want to get the full experience, there's only one way to listen to Glenn Miller music.
Oh, what's this? It's even got, look, Master Spice on.
Yeah, I know. It's very, very nice. Very nice.
Very nice.
Excuse me, sir. Could I just have your attention and ask you a couple of questions? What period is this?
1930s, 1940s, late
Right.
30s, early 40s.
OK.
Bruce, I love it.
Oh, no.
I love
but
it.
listen, I mean, we're after one of these, but also, you ain't got any Glenn Miller-y stuff. It's Glenn Miller bits we're really keen on. Oh, they're in an album.
They're all Glenn Millers.
Yeah? Can I have a look at that? Yeah?
No worries. Do you want to hear that? Or?
Yeah, can we? Here, hang on. Here, man's going to play it for us. They have that crackling about them, don't
It's
they?
a sound of its own.
That's how it should be played.
To lift the spirits of the troops overseas, the American government pressed their own records of popular songs. They called them V-discs, standing for victory, and over 8 million were sent around the world to play on the Army's radio shows. Glenn Miller was so popular, he was even given his own show. But radio communication being what it was, German troops could pick it up too, and they loved it, much to the extreme irritation of the Fuhrer. Great. How much is that, mate?
240. I've got it priced at 240, and that is an HMV, which is one of the best mates you can get.
And the record collection?
There's about 15 in there. I'll take 60.
In the mood to come with that.
Yeah.
Go on, I think I've got one at home. 15 all original Glenn Millers.
They're all original Glenn Millers. In that sleeve and everything, yeah?
Yep.
It's nearly my anniversary. Here, I bought you a little present. This ain't even going to haggle.
I always think the nicest present you can give a woman is a present you want yourself.
Yeah, I'll see.
Thanks,
That's how I don't buy nothing.
Oh, that's lovely.
That's it.
That's a really nice one.
No chocolates tonight.
Military fairs are a great way for me to catch up with lots of my mates and contacts in the industry. Mr. Peter, how the devil are you? All right, mate? All set up already? Yeah? Got a lot of stock here, yeah?
Got some stuff for you.
OK. Alex!
Bruce!
How we doing, all right? Nice to see you. Alex is the son of one of my oldest friends in the business, Christian Kramer, a well-known dealer. English, but living in America. And we go way back.
Is your dad with you?
He is, but I've lost him.
Remember Sue, yeah?
Nice to see you, Sue.
Have you found anything?
I've been finding lots of stuff here. It's a great show.
So we get chatting, and I tell him I've just bought Sue a gramophone player and some original Glenn Miller records. And one thing leads to another.
Bruce, this is your lucky day. Because I have something of Glenn Miller's that I thought would be really popular. I know Glenn Miller is kind of an icon in England.
Miller died in 1944, flying from England to France to play for the Allied troops. His plane mysteriously disappeared without a trace over the English Channel. All artefacts and relics linked to the great man are highly sought after.
It's a better market here for his stuff than it would be in the United States.
Yeah.
So in my car, I have his complete World War II uniform.
Glenn Miller's uniform.
His hat, his tunic, his shirt, his tie, his pants, and his Sam Brown belt. Most of it is named to him.
Is it for sale?
Of course it's for sale. That's why I'm here.
Listen, mate, I've got to tell you, I'm hunting around for records, I'm hunting around a programme. The fact that I could possibly look, see, touch, and maybe buy his uniform has made me go weak at the knees.
There's only one thing.
What's that?
It's not going to be cheap.
Oh, yeah, listen, quality never is. You know, that's when people look at me, they see the same thing. Can we go and have a look at this?
Let's do it.
All right, I'm dropping everything. I'm coming with you. I'm handcuffing myself here. I'm in heaven. A sunny day, a giant military affair, my beloved wife Sue, and the tantalising prospect of seeing and touching Glenn Miller's actual army uniform in the flesh, so to speak.
So where you got the gear?
Right here in my trunk.
Oh, right, OK. Into the treasure trove, eh?
Here we are.
Right, OK. Is that it?
This is Glenn Miller's uniform. Most of the pieces are named to him, as you can see in this hat.
Unbelievable.
He's got his name tag right inside the cellophane window. The man who collected it started collecting in the early 50s in the United States, in Ohio. He passed away 2 years ago. So we bought 32 pieces in total, and this is one of the pieces. So from this, we know when it was made, where it was made, and when it was issued.
That's lovely.
We don't have any paperwork with it other than the pieces being named.
Okay.
We don't have much more to go on, but the breadth of the collection, which had other pieces like from Jimmy Stewart, General Patton, those pieces all had original auction receipts from the 1950s and 60s.
Awesome.
We have the shirt,
Lovely.
and you can see a hint of his name at the top.
You'd have had a number of uniforms.
Well, typically American officers would have half a dozen uniforms,
Right,
sometimes
okay.
even more than that.
So the trousers are there, yeah?
Yep, also marked.
That's awesome, mate. Honestly, it's just, I don't know. What can I say? You know, you've hit the jackpot.
Wow.
This guy is absolutely loved here. Miller was too old to be conscripted, and when he enlisted, it was big news. He was at the height of his fame, earning big bucks. He formed the Army Air Force Band, and it was Miller who gave American marching music that jazzy style it still has today. The top brass thought it was a bit radical, but the troops loved it. He was a real hero, and now I almost feel like I'm meeting the man in person. So, obviously, the million-dollar question, Alex, is, you know, how much would this cost?
If this piece had an original auction receipt, like many of the uniforms we got out of this collection, it would be maybe $20,000. All we have is that we know it's the right uniform, it's the one he would have worn, it's his rank, it fit to him or his body type, and it's got his name on it. We are asking $10,000.
I mean, it's a lot of money, but it's a lot of history. I know you, you know me, and I know if you say it's right, it's right. That's it. I would dearly, dearly love to own this. Really, really would. To be quite honest, it'd be an honour to own something like this.
Yeah,
it's a lot of money. I mean, how does 6 float your boat?
That boat sank. I'm never going to see this again, so I don't mind having it for a while. And
6.5. Got to be a bit of movement.
And no, 9,000 is where I am.
7.
8,000.
Split. 7.5. Come on, 7.5.
Since it's going to go to somebody who clearly loves Glenn Miller and his legacy, I will do 7,500.
75, yeah, see, 7,500. Lovely. Listen, yeah, go on, shake your hand.
You are welcome.
Listen,
You're never letting it go.
I was going to give you 15 for it. No.
I'll just keep the hat.
No. So, listen, mate, I'm over the moon with that.
In a perfect world, Miller's uniform would come complete with documentary evidence, but that's asking a lot. I'm getting it from a trusted dealer, and it has a traceable history that can be verified and with more research made even stronger. This is my direct link with the man that wrote the music for World War II.
What I'd love to do, this show has a Glenn Miller tribute band, and I'd love to give the people here the opportunity to see this.
People see it.
So let me think, I reckon I can charge £10 a try.
It's a lot of money, but it's Glenn Miller's uniform. And in any case, all that oily stuff the boys are doing back at base should easily cover the costs, I hope.
It's a cracking piece of Dorset countryside we're in here, Bruce, but who is it we're coming to see?
Well, we're going to see Oliver Barnum. You've met him with me before. I mean, he's been a friend of mine for donkey's years.
The curator of one of Calais' most important museums has commissioned yours truly to find spy tackle relating to different countries. So I'm off to see Oliver. He's an eccentric collector with an eye for the obscure. I know he's had surveillance kit before, so if anybody's got spy gear, it's him.
Oliver, good morning, sir. Nice to see you. Sonny Sherborne. How you doing, all right?
Welcome. Not too
Remember Freddie? Can I be nosy?
Of course you can. You always are.
Oh, what's up there, anything?
There are a few bits and bobs.
Freddie, have a look up there. You're like Spider-Man. Come on.
Please, have a good rummage. I'm under great pressure from Colette to get rid of as much as I possibly can.
Well, listen, if you want to, we could clear the lot out and I'll do it for nothing.
Oh, what a nice man.
I like Oliver's wife, Colette, a lot, especially when she gets her old man to sell off his stuff.
Bruce?
What is it?
This says England on it.
Right.
But then everything else in here is in German, so...
What's this? It's a handbag. Oh, blooming hell. God, thanks for that. What are these then, Oliver? Maps?
It's more than just maps. It's town plans, a description of each town.
What, German ones?
Yeah, prepared by the Germans for the invasion of England.
Operation Sea Lion?
Yes.
Operation Sea Lion was Hitler's master plan to conquer Great Britain. If it had been successful, how different our lives would be today. Hitler had Nazi spies secretly operating here years before war was declared. They posed as holidaymakers and sent back all sorts of information, like locations of power plants and dams that would help them with the invasion. Luckily, the brave pilots of the RAF thrashed the Luftwaffe in the Battle of Britain. Without control of the skies, Operation Sea Lion was a dead duck.
They're in beautiful condition. They are brand new, aren't they?
Well, fortunately, they've never been used.
No.
Yes.
What's this one? I mean, this is a town.
That's Ipswich.
Let's have a look here. So what are these then?
These are numbered items here. You've got the key on the side.
Look, the station, factory, chemical works, look, everything here, and they're clearly marked. It's like an encyclopedia for people that are going to go and try and blow the place to pieces. I mean, what sort of money would you want for these, Oliver?
Well, bearing in mind the rarity and the fact that there are almost 200 separate documents here, I wouldn't really want to let it go under 2,500.
Ooh, £2,500. Yeah. That's a little bit rich for me. I mean, they are rare. There's no question about it.
It's a complete set.
Complete set. 1,500 quid.
£2,000.
Good, mate. Thank you.
For anybody interested in wartime espionage, these documents are priceless. Easily worth the money and a perfect exhibit for Eric's museum.
This is the thing I really wanted to show you. It may not look very much.
A sandwich box.
One German spy radio set.
Ah, now that is exactly the sort of thing that I'm really trying to find.
Produced by the German intelligence organisation, the Abwehrs.
Blimey hell. Does this work?
Yes. This comes out and gets plugged in there. So...
Oh, blimey hell, look, little Morse code kit.
The Abwehr was Hitler's spy agency, the Nazi MI6. Unfortunately for Hitler, The German head of intelligence and many Abwehr agents secretly hated him because of what the Nazi ideology was doing to the world. Agents regularly leaked information to the Allies. They helped Jews escape Germany. And they were even involved in assassination attempts on Hitler. In February 1944, Hitler was forced to abolish his own intelligence agency. It would make a great film, The Spy Who Hated Me. What sort of value are these things?
I've never heard of a German one being offered on the market.
Right.
I'd be looking for 2.5.
2.5 grand?
Yes.
You can't even get Radio 1 on it. 2 grand.
2 grand.
How's that?
Oh. All right.
2 grand, yeah?
2 grand, OK.
All right, done.
All right.
How amazing's this? A German spy radio very possibly used to double-cross the Nazis. It's going to be with a very heavy heart that I hand this over to Eric. What's that?
That thing, that's a bit of a V1.
Is it? So this is for a V1 flying bomb?
Correct.
Vengeance 1, I understand,
Correct.
yeah?
Yep.
This is the instrument that, when you see them in the films, they're flying along, they just stop. It was a clockwork motion.
Correct, yep.
Look at that. The V1, or Vengeance 1, as the name suggests, was the forerunner of the V2, Hitler's top-secret Wunderwaffe, or wonder weapon. In the last weeks of the war, British and American spies were sent to capture the Nazi rocket scientists who designed it, to stop them going and doing the same thing for the Russians. And heading the British spy operation was none other than Ian Fleming, who would go on to create James Bond. The V1 bomb is just the sort of arch-villain superweapon that 007 would have had to try to stop with seconds to spare. Nice little quirky thing I find interesting. How much would that be, Oliver? Mates rates, obviously.
50 quid.
Done. There you go.
Okay.
I ain't even going to argue that. 50 quid, yeah. It's my new alarm clock.
Ah.
You know, no, except it's going to blow me to bits when it goes off. 50 quid for the ticking brain of a super-villain's bomb. Well, that was all right, you know. We've ended up with a nice bit of spy kit. I would think that our client is going to be very, very happy with that, believe me. I've got a near-empty van, and I've still got to find more bits for Eric's museum.
Well, they're going to have what we're looking for, the spy and resistance stuff that we're after.
You never know, like, we might strike out, so keep your fingers crossed.
A French museum asked me to buy up as much World War II spy kit as I can find. I saw a lot of lovely bits in Italy. Problem was, most of it weren't for sale. But I'm en route to an old dealer mate of mine up in leafy Hertfordshire who says he has some spy items that might suit. I know I'm going to see about 200 other things I want to buy. You have got to stop me spending my hard-earned cash.
Bruce is so easily distracted. We're here for resistance and espionage stuff only.
Nice place, mate.
Yeah, very nice.
Oh. It's got to be in the garage, as you said, isn't it? Here we go.
Here, have a look at this.
Bruce. How you doing?
Listen, it's a fair old setup you got here, isn't it? Blooming hell.
Yeah, we like to have everything on display so we can enjoy it.
Yeah. It's awesome, mate. Daniel's got a fair bit of stock and it's nicely presented for a change. That's really nice. The 42 helmet, look, SS helmet.
A helmet? That is not what we're here for.
We're only here for other stuff, yeah?
Daniel, can you explain what that actually is?
Did the resistance use that?
3,000.
Yeah, 3,000.
Yeah, we need to put that back. Come, mate. Let's have a look at some resistance stuff.
We are. This is resistance.
You are resisting me.
I am resisting.
Come on.
Who's is right? I need to stay focused.
Have you got any spy stuff, resistance stuff?
How about a pencil? Have a look at that.
I think I've got plenty of pencils. Buy these by the dozen, don't we?
Well, it's not just any pencil. That's an assassination pencil. Inside there is a blade.
That's awesome. Really awesome. So this was used specifically by people that were going on Operation Behind the Lines and that type of thing. So, yeah, secret agents, basically, yeah. So were these mass-produced or...?
No, they were made on a very small scale by MI9.
MI9 was one of the British Secret Services, and part of their remit was to invent gadgets to aid agents behind enemy lines. MI9's real-life spy gadget guru was called Charles Fraser Smith, who later became the inspiration for James Bond film character Q. Just like in the Bond movies, the British Secret Services really were the masters of invention, designing one-man submarines for stealth attacks and exploding rats to destroy factories. And apparently secret daggers concealed in pencils for use by British agent assassins.
I've got another one, and this is a sample to show the secret agents what was inside.
Well, I'll be. Look at that.
Now, that is interesting, isn't it? Yeah, I just thought they were a normal pencil. So it's got no lead in it?
No, it's just got a blade inside.
That's a little bit like you. You got no lead in your pencil, have you? Daniel, you've rung me belly. It's items like these that our client is very, very keen to acquire. If I was to possibly ask you for a price for those two...
If you wanted both, how about $15.50?
Yeah, it's still really, I mean... Yeah. 1,300?
It's a bit low. You're getting close to what I paid. How about $13.75?
OK, all right, mate. Lovely. Thanks.
Yeah, they're nice. Thank you, mate. They're really interesting.
Normally, I would balk at spending that much on a pencil, but this is a direct link to the real Q. I feel like I'm in From Russia with Love.
Take a look at this. What's this?
That's for a pier. You got a pier?
Just some parts that I picked
There's
up.
other bits in there as
yeah,
well.
Yeah, that's
mate,
the
look.
stand. Show us that. What else is there? Just give me that piece there. That's the trigger mechanism.
I just picked this up just recently. I don't really know, much about it.
This is a Piat, or projector infantry anti-tank weapon. It was Britain's equivalent of the German Panzertreck that the twins are fixing. With bazookas and Panzertrecks, when you fire them, they give off a puff of smoke, which could reveal your position to the enemy. To get round this, the pier is spring-loaded, meaning no smoke signal. Great idea, but the spring is a pig to use.
Is this for sale, yeah?
How about 600?
600? I ain't even going to argue. Done.
I know I came here looking for spy bits for Eric, but I've got other Piat parts back at the farm. If Freddie can build me a whole one, I can show it to my Hollywood armourer along with the Panzerschreck. I'm sure he'd be interested in a Piat. Now back to Eric's shopping list.
Anything that you've got a bit of history with that, you can say was worn by the resistance.
Yeah, this was an interesting one. This is a German M35 helmet captured by the Polish, and you can see the scratches around the decal here just to show the Polish flag.
Right,
So this one has been used by the Polish resistance.
Ah, right. Can I have a look at that? See, the German decal was black, white and red. They've scratched the black out so that's the Polish flag colours.
The Polish underground resistance was one of the biggest in Europe, and they had to fight both Nazis and communists. As many as 200,000 Polish resistance fighters were shot or sent to the death camps by the Nazis. They spied, engaged in sabotage and open revolt. Needless to say, they didn't have their own arms and kits. These heroic Polish freedom fighters would claim anything they could get their hands on to take on the Nazis.
The only other thing I think that might be interesting for you is this helmet here. We think this is French resistance.
Right.
It's been painted red, black and red.
Sure it's not Aston Villa?
Because we found it in France in a barn,
yeah.
we think it's been taken by the French resistance and used against the Germans.
For the museum in Calais, French resistance gear is a must.
What have you got on these, by the way?
I was going to ask £5 for that one.
OK, and that one?
Well, this one here's a £700 helmet.
That's not trade price, is it?
No. I'm sure Daniel will make sure that we're comfortably looked after. I mean, how's £1,000 for the two?
That's a little bit tight for me. I was thinking more maybe 1,100.
1,050. How's that? 1,050, and we ain't finished yet. We're still here.
Go on then, I've known you a long time.
Yeah, lovely.
Helmets have always been a popular wartime memento, but these helmets, taken and used by the resistance, tell a special tale. And That's what makes them valuable.
I've got something else, Bruce, which is very, very rare. Have a look at this.
What is that?
It's an SOE, the Special Operations Executives, silk code sheet to transpond home with the SOE radio. It's made of silk, so it could be hidden as a handkerchief.
Yeah, I like that. It's really nice, Daniel. It's exactly the sort of thing we're after. Somebody's actually used this and decoded stuff there.
The Special Operations Executive was Britain's resistance unit. Its nickname was Churchill's Secret Army, and it sent undercover agents all over Nazi-occupied Europe. But SOE operatives were a right mixed bag. They hired canny criminals straight out of the prison system, and about a quarter of the agents were women who were trained to kill, lie, burgle and seduce, all to send secrets back to Blighty. To do this, they needed codes. The head of the cryptography unit was Leo Marx, who insisted that keys to codes carried by spies should be printed on silk.
Silk? Why do you think silk?
Well, it's durable. You know, if it was paper, it might get ripped. It's washable. It's lightweight. It can be hidden as a handkerchief.
I mean, you imagine that mounted in a nice frame on the wall in a small resistance stroke special operations executive display. It'd be awesome.
It's interesting.
The million-dollar question is, how cheap is it?
I was going to ask you £1,200 for it.
£1,200 ranky. That's a lot of money, mate. I mean, you got some movement on that? £900?
My last price would be £925.
£925? Yeah. £925. Thanks, Daniel. Appreciate that, mate.
It's going to break my heart to pass this on, but it will go perfectly with the spy radio I bought earlier. The spy who used this hanky must have had a lot of guts and nerves of steel, not to mention a very dangerous pencil.
Listen, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for the bits. I'm really happy with them, mate. I'll keep in touch. Thanks, mate. Come on, you've got a long drive.
Daniel's really saved my bacon today with the items I bought. They are spot on for what that museum in France wants.